Good morning, it is Monday, October the 14th, and it is day 1 of the SpookAthon. Hello, so it's still day 1 of the SpookAthon. It's, what time is it? Just gone 2 o'clock, and I have read nothing so far today. But I'm updating you now on what I plan to read this afternoon. So I don't have a set TBR for the SpookAthon, and what I've done instead is write down the challenges, and then for each challenge I wrote several books that could go for that challenge so that I can still kind of mood read this week. So if I need to complete the challenge of red on the cover, I can look at the list and think, oh, I've got these 4 books, all of which fit the challenge, so I can read any one of them. So if I'm not in the mood for that one, not in the mood for that one, I'm in the mood for that one. That's how I decided to do it. Some of the books are on more than one challenge list, so they apply to, you know, red on the cover and a word, a spooky word in the title. But I did it this way so that I can mood read, and so I don't feel pressure to read a certain book if I don't want to. I always know that, oh, I have a couple of other books that can still fit that challenge, so I don't stress about reading a book I don't want to read. So with that being said, the first book I have picked can fit the challenge of a book that's like a genre or a type that I wouldn't normally read, because the book I've chosen is horror, and I don't normally pick up straight horror books. Yeah, I like thrillers, I like sci-fi, I like fantasy, I like a bit of spookiness, paranormal, that kind of thing, but I never read just horror. And this has aspects of like paranormal, supernatural stuff going on in it, but it's classed as a horror book. And I also think it has, yes, it has red on the cover. So the first book I'm going to attempt to read is Carrie by Stephen King, because I thought it's quite short. Maybe I'd get through it quite quickly. This is the first Stephen King I will have ever read. I'm looking forward to reading it, but I don't anticipate loving it, because I've read bits of his writing before in like excerpts that people have posted online that often have problematic content in the way that he talks about women in particular. So I'm hesitant, but maybe I'll enjoy it more than I think I will. Let's hope that happens. I don't think I'm gonna manage to read a book for every challenge, so I'm glad that this fits more than one challenge. Normally I read a book a week if I'm in the mood to read. Sometimes it's a book every 2 weeks. Sometimes if I'm really loving a book, I can read it in 2 days. So I'm hoping I can get through this quite quickly, because I would really love to read more than one book for the SpookAthon. So let's hope this book goes well and we're not off to a bad start. Okay, so I started reading and then I was finding it difficult to read and drink my cup of tea, so I watched a movie instead. But I've started reading again now, and something I find really odd is that in the movie adaptations of Carrie, she's always portrayed as like this really slim blonde who is supposed to be really plain but is often played by quite a pretty actress. But reading the description of her in this book, she's supposed to have like acne and stuff because, you know, she's a teenager. But she's also described as being chunky and like not slim. So Carrie is like a plus size character, but is never shown that way in film. Like, this version's a movie cover version and it's got
Chloe Grace Moretz, and I know that is it Sissy Basic or something like that. I can't remember her name. Played her in the like best known adaptation of it, and she was a skinny, pretty blonde as well. So something I didn't know is that Carrie is actually a plus size kind of chubby girl, not skinny like she's always portrayed as being. Just an observation.
So it's the end of day 1. Sorry for the bad lighting and the quietness, but everyone else has gone to bed, so I'm downstairs alone trying to keep the noise down and keep the lights dim. Update. I've only read about 20 pages of my book after I started reading again. I was quite hungry, so I had some dinner, and then my parents came home from work and we watched a bunch of stuff that we had saved on our planner, which was fun, so I didn't mind not reading because I had a nice evening. But it does mean that I haven't read much, so I don't think I'm going to finish it by Wednesday because I'm working tomorrow from 8 until 4, and then I'm going to run home from work, which normally takes about an hour, so I'll have time to read a little bit in the evening, but then on Wednesday I'm working 8 a.m. till like 4:15 p.m. and then again from 6:30 until 9:30. So I've got that little like 2-hour break in the afternoon, evening, but that's normally when I do a bit of admin work in the office and have dinner. So yeah, doubt I'll have much time to read again until Thursday when I only have to work the morning. But that is my update for the day. I've read 20 pages of Carrie, and that's kind of it.
Hello, it is day 2 of the SpookAthon, and I thought I'd give you a little update of where I'm at with my reading. It's very noisy outside. I'm currently in my office, in the office where I work, because I'm about to go home. I was just tidying up my desk before I leave. Very tired. I've had a very busy day working in the office this morning, and the drop-in centre this afternoon. I'm back in the office, but I'm about to run home and then I can chill out. But yes, so what I'm reading currently, I have stopped reading Carrie just for like today, because at the end of September I started reading a book called In a Cottage in a Wood by Cass Green, I think is the author. I started reading it at the end of September, and then I had to return it to the library and couldn't renew it before I'd finished it, which was really annoying. So I returned it to the library, and then the other day I realised it had been added to my library's audiobook service. So I put it on reserve, and it came in yesterday into my available to listen to list. So I'm going to listen to that because I only have, looking at the timings of the chapters, I only have about 3 hours of that left. Apparently I was further through it than I thought I was when I had to return it. So I only have 3 hours of the audiobook to listen to, and then I'll have finished that book, which I want to do because I read like over half that book in September and then had to not read any more of it until the
the reserve came through. So now that I have that, I want to listen to it, get it out the way. I know it's not reading a whole book, but I'll have read like just under half of it for the SpookAthon, and then I'm gonna go back to Carrie. So because I only have 3 hours left of it, my run home takes about an hour, so that'll get an hour out of the way, and then I think this evening, whilst I, you know, make dinner, tidy my room, have a shower, I can listen to the rest of it. So hopefully I can get that done by tonight, by the time I go to bed. So then tomorrow I can start again, well, not start again, but carry on with Carrie. So those are my plans. I will update later, hopefully when I've finished or when I'm close to finishing In a Cottage in a Wood. So it is day 3 of the SpookAthon. I didn't update last night because I was very tired and ready to go to bed, and so was everyone else in my house, so I didn't really feel like filming anything. So I'll update you now. Last night I finished listening to the audiobook of In a Cottage in a Wood. It was okay. Considering it was a thriller, there was nothing that was wildly shocking. I figured out what was going on like a couple of pages before it happened, or you know, the equivalent of a couple of pages on an audiobook. Yeah, just a little bit before it happened, I worked out what the twist was going to be. Yeah, it was okay. It was quick to listen to, so I finished that. So today I'm going back to Carrie by Stephen King. I've got a little bit of time now at work. I finished about 45 minutes ago in... That's our building neighbours. I finished working in the drop-in about 45 minutes ago, and I've been doing just a little bit of admin work at my desk. But now I'm gonna take a break from work, read a little bit, then go to the shops, get myself something to eat, then come back and then actually eat the food at my desk and maybe read a little bit more before I head back into the drop-in at 6:30. So yeah, those are my plans.
Hello, it's day 4 of the SpookAthon. Sorry, it's the end of the day, but I thought I'd give an update because I didn't really have a chance to vlog today because I was up early this morning, and then walked into work, did a little bit of work, did some volunteering, did a little bit more work, then ran home, and then had a shower, had something to eat, and I was just so tired that I took a nap. And then I woke up, and then I hung out with my family, and then had dinner, and then we hung out more, and caught up on some TV shows that we were watching together. So I haven't had much of a chance to read, or I've just been doing other things. I read a little bit more of Carrie this morning before I left for work, and then a little bit more this evening. I've read about like 30 pages today, which isn't a lot, but it's not a massive book. I don't know if I'm using a money bag as my bookmark, so I'm that far in, but I reckon I could read that tomorrow. Maybe Saturday, because I'm only working the morning tomorrow or until early afternoon. Although I am going out with a friend in the evening. I'm going to read as much as I can tomorrow, try and finish on Saturday, and then decide what to do next. I'll update you tomorrow.
I've read nothing and I'm ready to go to bed. I'll update you tomorrow. Hello, it is day 6 of the SpookAthon. I currently read nothing, but here are my plans, because I know I'm not going to read a lot this evening, because Strictly Come Dancing is on, which I love to watch, so I won't be reading during Strictly. So I'm going to read now for a bit. I know that a few days ago Zoe from Read by Zoe uploaded like a read with me thing, which is about half an hour long, so I think I'm gonna put that on in the background and read my book for half an hour, and then I'm gonna see how I feel. I feel really tired today, like really weirdly tired, so yeah, I'm gonna read and then see how I feel, maybe take a nap, we'll see. Yeah, but if I'm really into my book, then I'll keep reading, and then I'll stop whatever I'm doing around 6:30, go watch Strictly, and then maybe do a bit more reading. I'm hoping if I just read a bunch that I can finish Carrie today, and then I can maybe start an audiobook or something tomorrow. I do have the audiobook of The Five by Hallie Rubenthal, something like that. If I read it, I'll check. Which is about the victims of Jack the Ripper, which I'm really interested in. It's non-fiction, but I think I could read that quite quickly because I could just put it on whilst I did other stuff tomorrow, so that might be what I read next. We will see. I'll keep you updated, hopefully better than I did yesterday where I filmed one clip saying I hadn't read anything. But yeah, so I'm going to read now, read some Carrie, and then see where I'm at. So it is 11:15 on day 6 of the SpookAthon. My family's gone to bed. I'm about to go up because I'm really tired. I didn't end up taking a nap earlier, but I didn't get a whole lot of reading done. I read about 40 pages of Carrie, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it tomorrow, but I will try to read more and not get distracted by YouTube and television and things, so I'm going to try and finish it tomorrow. Really try. Hopefully I can do that, because then I'll have completed like 1.5 books this week. Sorry, this is a really haphazard rushed update. But yeah, I'm not feeling great. I'm feeling quite sniffly and I think I might be coming down with a cold, so I'm going to go to bed. Hi, it's day 7 of the SpookAthon, the final day. I have been reading a little bit so far today. I read a bit earlier in the afternoon, and then I had a little break, watched some YouTube, and now I'm reading again. I've got a little sort of ASMR room going on YouTube, fire crackling, creaky old house kind of thing going on, because I really enjoyed Zoe, Read by Zoe's one that I did yesterday, so I thought I'd try it out again with some like reading ambiance. I've just got to part 2 of Carrie, which is prom night, where everything goes down, and it's about 117 pages into it, and there's around 240 pages of the book, so I don't think I'm gonna finish it this week. I read it way slower than I thought I would. I also just haven't read as much as I would have liked to this week. I've been distracted by other things, and just, what is this piece of hair doing? And just, yeah, never got round to reading, which is, you know, my own fault. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and read some more. I'm gonna read until this reading ambiance thing runs out. Then I'm gonna go downstairs and have some dinner and watch the Strictly Come Dancing results, and then maybe read some more after that, and just see how far I get through it. Hello, it is Monday, the day after the SpookAthon. Sorry about the reflection on my glasses, but we're just gonna have to deal with that. Just giving you an update on how I did with my reading. Last night I managed to read more of Carrie, but I didn't manage to finish it, which is a little bit annoying, but I'm going to try and finish it today anyway. Haven't got much left, but yeah, a bit annoyed I didn't manage to finish it. So I guess I read like one book this week because I finished a book that I'd previously started, and then I like almost finished another book. So like if you add those two half finished books together, it's like one book. I'm gonna say that. So I read In a Cabin in a Wood by Cass Green earlier this week, gave it like 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay, but nothing particularly special, not a great thriller. Maybe more of a 2.5. So yeah, that's what I finished earlier this week, and then obviously I was reading Carrie by Stephen King, which is okay. I think having almost finished it, I'd give it like 3 stars. You know, people would argue that it's of its time, I guess, but there have been a couple of unnecessary, very unnecessary, always unnecessary. The N-word has been used, I think really like unnecessarily. A lot of people argue that when he uses it, he's using it, you know, in it said a lot on homophobic slurs and things because he's showing who the bad characters are. But in this, a character who's otherwise like quite nice, quite okay, she's the girl Sue Snell, who's like really repentant for the way that they've treated Carrie. She uses it just like casually, so I don't think there's any argument for that. There's never an argument to use that word, but I think, yeah, it was incredibly unnecessary and just seemed really out of place and inappropriate. So I think in that respect, I'm not a huge fan of Stephen King's writing. It's not been too bad in this book. There's been a couple of instances of the N-word, which I'm not happy with. I think one homophobic slur, which, considering the things I've heard about other Stephen King books, I've been surprised at the lack of the bad words, which is good, but I also don't think they should be there at all. And yes, you can tell me that it's of his time and people wrote like that, you know, in the 70s, etc. But I don't care, to be honest. Yeah. Also, I'm just really realizing like the differences between the book and the movie adaptations. Like I think I said before, in the movie adaptations, Carrie's always like skinny and actually quite pretty. Whereas in the book, she's described as being like kind of fat, which I never knew that she was like a plus size character. But you know, that's Hollywood.
just, you know, making everyone skinny. But also the iconic her getting blood spilled on her. I feel like in the movies she wears like light color dresses, like white dresses, pale dresses, I guess to make the moment like of the blood really noticeable. In the book she wears a red dress. Yeah, I think it's interesting considering that's such like an iconic scene that there are differences. But anyway, yes, not the biggest fan of Carrie, but having read this, I would maybe read another Stephen King. I think this wasn't a bad one to start with. I think I'd give him another try, see if I enjoyed anything else more. I think my sister has a couple of Stephen King books, so I might borrow one of those off her and give it a read. So yeah, I didn't technically complete any of the challenges because I didn't complete a full book. But I guess if you counted In a Cabin in the Woods, that's a thriller. So I read a thriller, finished a thriller, and then if you allowed me to include Carrie, then that's a book with red on the cover, and it's also a book that I wouldn't normally read because it's a horror book. It's not too horrific, I don't think, but it's counted as a horror book. And I don't read horror. So I think it fits those 2 challenges. So I made an attempt at 3 challenges, I think. Yeah, which isn't too bad. I just need to be a bit more focused with my reading, I think. I think there were a lot of times I could have been reading and I decided to watch YouTube instead, watch TV instead. You know, just sort of got distracted a lot of the time. But hopefully doing vlogs more regularly, reading vlogs, and maybe setting myself some challenges, hopefully will keep me on track and get me back into like a better pace of reading. Yes, so SpookAthon was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching everyone else's vlogs. Very happy that Kayla from Books and Lala has created this readathon because it's really fun. I attempted to do it last year and just completely failed, so I'm glad I actually gave it a go this year. And I look forward to it next year, and I look forward to the next readathon or challenge I set myself so I can do another reading vlog. Until then, goodbye.